Welcome back to my channel. Today's video we're going to do a simple painting. This is going to be inspired by the Lake District. We spent last weekend in the Lake District, a beautiful place, and a place called Ullswater, and this is going to be inspired by that place, the mountains, the pictures on this side. So I'm just going to do a simplified version of this and hope you enjoy the video. Before we get started, if you please do give me a thumbs up and like and subscribe, I do appreciate that. So let's get straight into the video.
Just thought I'd show you a little bit of my setup. So you can see I've got quite a few things on the table, and for this I'm just got my paper, and this is actually Jackson's 140-pound cold pressed. So I've got the nice texture to work with. I like using cold press for different textures, and I'm using my number 1 inch Hake brush just to add water and then do the wash in the sky. So this is my first wash. So I've got a few clouds in the sky. It was a really nice day in the Lake District. We spent a little bit of time in Ambleside, quite a nice place to visit. And then we spent the remainder of the day in Ullswater, also known as Glenridding. So it's really nice, really nice scenery. So I couldn't help but take a few pictures while I was there, and I'm painting this from the photograph as you saw in the beginning, in the intro. So as I add some pigment, I'm just going in with a little bit of clean water and bit of a damp brush, just to get a nice smooth. I don't want so many hard areas in the clouds. So as you add water and just hit the pigment, it'll just soften up the areas, so you don't have those hard edges. So hard edges will work quite nice on the mountains and the outline of the mountain, should I say, just for that. And then obviously some blending within the mountains, different colours. I will use wet in wet as well. So just going in and painting the mountains. It's quite difficult. The picture that I've got, this is a condensed version, so that's why I said in the beginning this is inspired by the picture of Ullswater. It's not exactly like the photograph. Just using the photograph as a reference, I find this size, it's more of an A4 size, quite difficult to work with when you've got quite a lot in the landscape. It's quite difficult to paint, scaling that down. It really is quite a challenge sometimes, especially things like painting in a sketchbook. If you're out on location or a scene like this, where you've got quite a wide angle to work with when you're working on a smaller size. Just let me know in the comments what you think. Is it difficult for you as well to find a cut-off point, I suppose, or to get everything that you want within the space of your paper? I'd be interested to know how you go around this, if that's a challenge. How do you go about solving this? So I'm just going in now with a little bit of a warmer tone. So that first wash, I'll let that dry, and then I'll be sort of building up the layers as I go along, and then adding the darker tones to the later part of the painting. So this video, I'm actually doing 2 parts for this video. So this is the part 1. I just thought it was a really nice scene, and I want to spend a little bit more time doing this painting. So this is part 1, and then hopefully you join me in part 2 just to see how the sort of final result turns out. So hopefully I do it justice. It's a really nice reference that I've got. And this is actually looking down. You can see I've got a few figures in the bottom as well. That's just on the little shoreline of the lake. So I'm going to be doing all those details in the second part of this painting. So let me know in the comments what you think. If you've been to Ullswater or Glenridding, have you been to Cumbria? Is there any sort of places that you would recommend? Let me know in the comments, and I'll be interested to find out where exactly you've been. Just straightening up this edge here. This is just a little bit of green popping through. You can see through the trees, just a bit of grass in the just by the lake, and then a little bit popping through the trees on the left hand side. So I'm still going in with different layers as I build up, and that's what it is. You start off with the lightest colours first, and then build up your darker tones. Just keep going in with the different layers. And like I said, for the mountain, especially the outline of the mountains, you want quite a sharp, hard edge. So this is achieved by going in when the paper's dry. It gives you that nice, crisp, clean lines. So you want the mountains to look quite solid, and that's why I'm doing this. So there's lots of nice, I don't know if they call them serrations in the mountains, and then a nice little, looks like a path going to the top. Maybe it's a walkway. I would like to do a bit more exploring in the lakes, maybe do some walks and go on the tops. That'd be quite nice to do. So I think that's probably a path that leads up to the top. And then you got these nice just markings and textures in the mountains. And then also you got lots of trees and foliage in the mountains. So I would just popping them in, just dabbing the paintbrush, creating pretty much like dots. And then you got these nice little bit of forest in towards the bottom of the mountains. So it really is a nice, lovely place to visit. I think most places in the Lake District I really enjoy, especially Windermere and Bowness, if you've been there. It's actually where me and my wife spent our honeymoon just after we got married, and it was the first time I'd actually been to the Lake District. I'd certainly heard lots about it, and we actually I nearly went on a couple of occasions. But as it being Cumbria and surrounded by mountains, and just I think the geography of the place, there's always plenty of rain. So I've nearly been, but with the rain, I've actually turned back round. But what a really nice place it is. If you do get a chance to visit and you're from the UK, or even if you're not from the UK, I do highly recommend visiting the Lake District here in the UK. So we're coming towards the end of this part one. I really do hope you enjoyed this, and I really do hope that you join me for part two. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.